OCO, freethinkers.
I broke down how they took our lands, when they took our lands. I even gave you verbatim government documents, time periods, and all. There's no excuse. And all those people that's yelling and screaming, talking about Africa this, Africa that, go there. We not stopping you. Go to Africa. Go live there. See if you can blend in. Ain't gonna be nobody standing there, welcome my brother, or you are American. There's no problem. Everything you need is here. Everything you need. Follow me. Ain't gonna be nothing like that, Slim. You gotta get in where you fit in, just like everybody else out there. You think it's gonna be a way better living in Africa? They fooled the people like that went on ahead and agreed with the American Colonization Society. They made pretend like it was gonna be a better way of living in West Africa because certain parts were not fully populated, but they were fully colonized. Oh, you gonna leave one colonized land to another one and think that's gonna be a better way of living? That's why it was less than 15,000 of them that went. Everybody else was like, kick rocks. What Negro problem?
OCO, freethinkers. You're now tuned into the realest historian on the planet.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Relax and take notes.
He's here to make you think.
The Africans came way later, 1900s later. I put that on screen. We were not brought over here by way of slave ships. I put that on screen. I showed you that there was no such thing as a slave ship. I put that on screen. Number one, they couldn't come straight across the Atlantic with the ocean gyres there. They would be lost to sea. Number two, you're not about to fit 100, 200, nobody on a sailboat. They can't carry that much weight on a sailboat. Don't forget that they're calling them ships, but they were boats. Wherries, rowboats, those are small. The cargo ships came in the 1850s, and the first 3 cargo ships were owned by 3 different people, and those cargo ships were not being utilized commercially. The commercial use of the cargo ships came in the late 1850s. By that time, you had what, 10, 15 years more until slavery was allegedly abolished?
You are watching a master at work.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
We have been lied to about who we are. We're not African. None of us are. They got statue after statue up of Confederate soldiers, this, Union Army, that, this museum is this. You do not have the names of your heroes that enabled slavery the way that we were told. You're not telling us the names of the people that made it seem as if you won some type of war by capturing enslaved Africans and bringing them over here. And don't get it twisted, people came, but it wasn't you. Well, me and my wife tell you in these Statue of Liberty videos, but foreigners coming. This
motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
Once people get cognizant of what's going on, then yeah, we can make some changes because their stay is a temporary stay. The reason why is because if you look at the term resident, that means that's a person in transient status. That means that person has somewhere else to go. Yeah. That's not their original land. So this is what you're calling yourself when you're saying that you're a citizen. You're saying the same thing. A citizen is a resident. Resident is a person in transient status. That means you're there temporarily. That doesn't mean that you're there permanently. People are not tied to their states. They're tied to a state. Which one is that? It's 13 districts. So who was the head of the 13 districts? The corporation. So where was the corporation established? Washington, D.C. But Washington, D.C. is not a state, right? So anybody that's a citizen, that means that you're stateless. If you're stateless, that means you're not tied to any state. That means you're not tied to their constitution. The reason why is because you're tied to the city of Washington as a citizen. So you're here temporarily by their paperwork. They're literally trying to take you off of your land. That's the enemy. That's how you point them out.
This man is unstoppable.
This is the second time it was changed. I'm going to show you all something. These are the manuscripts of the Virginia Company of London. Look closely at the quote here. It says 20 and odd Negroes, okay? The West Indies. This is talking about the West Indies, where they got it from. That's where they were going back and forth.
I will not be debating Dane Calloway.
Yeah, that boy's scared. That boy's scared.
The best teacher you wished you had in school. Have your pens and paper handy and get ready to take notes. It's Dane Calloway.
Okay. Okay.
It's up.
Hold up, y'all. Let me check my audio real quick. Let me make sure I'm good. Okay, yeah, I hear. All right, cool. Okay. OCO, everyone. Hope y'all doing well. Yeah. Some things popping off, man. Some things popping off. Hold up. Gotta move the mic. Right. All right, here we go. Yeah, so it's getting kind of wicked out here in these political streets. Elon Musk and Donald Trump got into it. Now, how many of y'all out there really feel like it was going to last long? I mean, when the last time we seen billionaire and a billionaire link up and say, hey, we cool, we could be friends? Like, and here's another thing, y'all. Y'all know this is a distraction. This got to be a distraction. Like, there's no way this just randomly happened. Okay? All of a sudden, they beefing. I'm showing you a picture in the thumbnail of when they were a little younger. They were always around each other. I mean, come on, bro. Like, you are you kidding me? You had him in charge of looking for the fraud inside of the government. Elon, you were the main contributor to his presidential campaign. And all because Donald Trump ain't want to bring your boys on, and now it's a problem. He ain't want to give you no power. Oh, you thought you was gonna have some power because you put some money up. Oh, that's what's going on. But I mean, I don't, like I told y'all, I always tell y'all, I don't trust Elon. Barely trust Trump. I definitely don't trust Elon. Barely trust Trump. Because there's a few moves that he did make that I don't like. I'm going to be talking about them. And I normally do. And I'm also going to mention some things that I do like. And just because, they reached out to us as far as dealing with our curriculum, don't mean I got to play a side. I'm going to tell you that right now. That doesn't mean, I'm automatically a Republican. It doesn't mean that. I'm not tied to no NDA. I'm not tied to no I'm not tied to any of that. I'm not tied to any political party. I don't have to get along with them if I don't want to. I don't got to play like everything is cool or we buddy. I've never been that type of person to fake. Never been that type of person to fake a relationship. But apparently they are. So I'm going to play a couple of things. Let me get that for y'all right now. Let me hold on, make sure I boost it up so y'all can hear it. Wait, where's the boost? Okay, here we go.
Elon Musk and your big, beautiful bill. What's your reaction? Thank you, Mr. President. The criticism that I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen, regarding Elon Musk and your big, beautiful bill. What's your reaction to that? Do you think it in any way hurts passage in the Senate, which, of course, what is you're seeking?
Well, look, I've always liked Elon, and it's always very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. It's the biggest cut in the history of our country. We've never cut. It's about 1.6 trillion in cuts. It's the biggest tax cut. You would say people's taxes will go way down, but it's the biggest tax cut in history. We are doing things in that bill that are unbelievable. And When you look at what we're doing for small businesses, for people, for middle-income people, all of the things that we're doing, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And, you know, Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate and, you know, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles. And
I think that's where the problem began. But keep in mind, Elon always came out and said what he had a problem with, but that was his main thing. Because Elon was about to make cash money off of that federal mandate of electric vehicles. I'm glad that Trump took that away. I don't like Tesla. And then all of a sudden, his company is the only electrical vehicle company that's doing well in that field. And it's the only company that we could trust. I don't want that. And I'm glad that he got rid of that. What's wrong with my gas powered car? Nothing. What's wrong with that? I'm not trying to wait 20 to 30 minutes to charge the battery of the vehicle. If I want to go somewhere, it's going to take me 3 minutes to fill up my tank. I'm not trying to hear that. Like, you know, you could keep all that. That stuff don't even look good in the inside anyway. Oh, you got a computer in the inside and you charging $80,000 for that car. Have y'all seen China's? And not trying to be funny, but China's EV look good in the inside. Got a whole bunch of technology in it. I damn near almost, you know, changed my mind. I'm like, damn, that's how they going? Now, I wouldn't mind, you know, that one, that looked real good. But at the same time, nah, Elon. And then you already turning around and, you know, trying to make people buy your robot and have them inside of the house. I think it was $30,000 to $35,000. They want you to have those bots in your home. I don't trust Elon, never did. You know, making it convenient for people. And that's, you know, that could possibly take over people's lives. And of course it's going to sound convenient. But how could you trust that? Oh, I bought a stranger. Now, since I bought this stranger, everything is fine. This stranger is going to tell me when the food get low in the refrigerator. The stranger is going to be able to help me cook. The stranger is going to be able to wash the clothes, do the dishes, clean up the living room, the dining room, etc., make up the bed, take the children to school, fill up the tank, run to the grocery store. Wait. Really? I trust that. Nah. Quiet as kept. They said it was about 50 people that were hold up, here go my son. Wait a minute, 1 second. I appreciate that. This one? This the one? Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Okay, so now, yeah, I mean, I just don't trust that. I mean, we gotta have our faith in something unforeseen. It was 50 fatalities, if you guys didn't know that. I think it was a little bit more than 50, but I'm gonna just say 50 to be on the safe side, since I don't have it in front of me. That were inside of the Tesla taxis. There was a rollout that happened, I forgot which state, but it could have been, the number could have been 58. Y'all could look this up. But I'm just going to say 50 on the safe side. Yep, the Tesla taxis, it was already 50 fatalities. And keep in mind, they were autonomized. They were driving on their own. It wasn't even human error. See there? So of course he got mad at Trump for getting rid of that mandate. And, that technology ain't ready.
Because we took the EV mandate, and which was a lot of money for electric vehicles, and they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles, and they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy. And Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time ago. That's been in there. That's been, I would say, JD, that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning, Mr. Secretary. That hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning. But I know that
he did that before he even. He said
wanted,
that
and
during his
rightfully,
campaign. He was getting rid of
recommended
that.
Somebody from that he, I guess, knew very well. I'm sure he respected him, but to run NASA.
Now listen to that. So he wanted somebody to run NASA. Peep game. Notice how we know there's an underlying message to all of this so-called beefing that they doing back and forth, right? Now, of course, I'm gonna do some more investigation to figure things out, make sure nothing got past, up under the radar. I'm taking a look at that. But listen to what he said, though. I'm rewinding it back a tad bit.
JD, that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning, Mr. Secretary. That hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning. But I know that it disturbed him. He wanted, and rightfully, he recommended somebody from that he, I guess, knew very well. I'm sure he respected him, but to run NASA, and I didn't think it was appropriate. And he happened to be a Democrat, like totally Democrat. And I say, look, we won. We get certain privileges, and one of the privileges, we don't have to appoint a Democrat. NASA is very important. We have great people. General Kane is going to be picking somebody with our, we'll be checking him out, seeing, but he wanted that person, a certain person, and we said no. And, I can understand why he's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk, and even with the black eye, I said, do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup. But he said, no, I don't think so, which is interesting. And very nice. He wants to be who he is, so you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things. He's warned that.
So as this conference was going on, Elon was tweeting. Elon was on Twitter, and I'm about to show y'all that. He was basically going in. And then he even said that he was on the Epstein list, talking about Trump. Show y'all something real quick.
Welcome to Meet the Press Now. I'm Kristen Welker in New York, and we begin with the fire hose of news coming out of the White House right now. Tensions between President Trump and Elon Musk have now exploded and are playing out in a very public way. It comes after the president today held a wide-ranging Oval Office appearance alongside the German chancellor, where he addressed a number of issues, including his sweeping new travel ban, his new investigation into former President Biden and his aides, and his recent calls with the leaders of China and Russia. But it's President Trump commenting for the very first time about Elon Musk's efforts to tank his mega bill in Congress that is driving the news right now, with President Trump suggesting Mr. Musk, who just left his administration less than a week ago, has now become hostile.
Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and which was a lot of money.
We heard all that.
Social media about the president all afternoon. President Trump then escalated things even further, writing on his social media platform, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts.
Interesting. Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. Interesting.
NBC News Chief Justice and National Affairs correspondent Kelly O'Donnell is at the White House, and NBC News senior national political reporter Sahil Kapoor is on Capitol Hill. Kelly O, let me start with you and that feud between Elon Musk and President Trump.
The WRAL Live Center, we are monitoring a spat between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk that has escalated sharply just in the past couple of hours. Musk has been critical of the budget plan that President Trump supports, talking about its spending and adding to the national debt. This morning at the White House, President Trump said, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore. Not long after that, Musk posted on X, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Around 2:30 this afternoon, President Trump posted on Truth Social, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandates, talking about electric vehicle mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, and he just went crazy. And in the past hour on X, Elon Musk posted, time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and that is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Tesla shares and Trump media shares down sharply today on Wall Street.
Okay. Holy jeez. All right, let's get to some other breaking news here.
And they just laughing about it. I want to show y'all something before I ask y'all what y'all think about that. Let me show y'all something that he tweeted on X real quick. And I'm talking about Elon. Wait a minute, give me 1 second. I want to show y'all this, what he posted. Well, actually, he didn't post it. He retweeted it. Let me say that. He retweeted it. Here we go. Right here. So in 1992, Trump partied with Jeffrey Epstein. Just going to leave this here. And he made that little face.
His personal attention. The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings on your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein. More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president said,
what y'all think about that? And again, that's Elon. Like, you know, I mean, that's Elon hitting below the belt. What y'all think about that, chat? Like, already lined up, prepared to go. Like, you know, he got this, he going on, leaning on them, calling them out. Talking about this Epstein situation, dealing with Donald Trump. Now, I mean, if you knew all of this, you worked with him. You worked for him. You knew all of this previously. Why change of heart now? Oh, now you exposing Donald Trump? Yeah, I mean, you gave Donald Trump money. You know, you supported his campaign. You funded him. How do you think that makes you look, Elon? If you knew about this now, how do you, like, how can you be trusted? If you're trying to make it seem like we're not supposed to be trusted Trump because of these reasons, how could we trust you? I'm just saying. Elon messy as hell, yeah. But all day long, that's what he was doing. Coming at Trump. So, I mean, my thing is this. I believe this is set up. I believe this is a distraction. Again, I'm going to have to investigate a lot more to figure out what is going on here. Now, they're saying, you know, the reason for that is, you know, his behavior as far as Elon is concerned for a few reasons. But the one that took it over the top was the big, beautiful bill, which was supposed to be a tax cut bill that Donald Trump is proposing. You know, Donald Trump is stating that this is going to be in our people's favor. I mean, you know, it would be nice if you just get rid of IRS altogether. I mean, I did see that paperwork. Why is that not going through? I even posted that online, showed everybody that they were actually trying to move to get rid of the IRS in general, get rid of taxes in general. The only tax that will be left will be sales tax. What happened to that? Now tax cuts. Oh, okay, no, let's keep taxes. Let's just cut it down some. And then they give you these big numbers. This billions of dollars. The Americans going to say billions of dollars. Trust me, we're going to do great. This is what our people need. What happened to you cutting the IRS was with all. See, this is the reason why you can't trust neither one. It's a tug and pull. Who's to say they're not playing that side that we don't want them to play on? Meaning that is going against us. Their opposition. Who's to say? Who's to say? And I got the right to say that. None of this stuff is transparent. Especially with Elon being right there. They over there sizing up the fact that they found a lot of fraud and all this, budget spending, and people's taxes were being spent overseas for et cetera, et cetera. Now, all of a sudden, you against Trump. All of a sudden. I'm not buying that. Are y'all buying that? I'm not buying that. There has to be something bigger than this. It smells like it. It stink. I pause with a tug and pull. Yeah, I feel as though something is up with it. And it could be multiple things. Are y'all familiar with the fact that Donald Trump came out with his own currency recently, but it's not fully out? He's just getting people to sign up right now. It's almost like in the pre-release stages. Like he's trying to gather up as much people as possible on his true. So, and that's another thing that they got in common. Think about that. That would mean that Donald Trump will be his competitor. Okay, in the digital currency world. Trump coming out with his own coin, digital currency, and that's going directly at Elon. And then another thing is both of them own their own social media platforms. He got Twitter, Donald Trump got True Social. So many things that's in common. He got churn, Elon got churn, children. Let me stop saying it the South Carolina way. I'm not going to stop saying that. I'm always going to say churn. Shout out to South Carolina and North Carolina. They both billionaires. They both in the industry. I mean, they got a lot in common. Elon wanted to be involved in politics. Now, we do know that Elon was on the side of the Democrats prior. As Trump was campaigning for his second term, Elon just recently switched sides. He had a change of heart. Could we knock him for that? I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Me personally, not really. I mean, people could change their mind. They got the right to change their mind. But then this. Because according to Trump, him going on public record, he's saying, I don't want your Democrats to come in here. The Republicans won the election. We're going to keep it with Republicans. We're going to keep it in-house. He the president. You can't tell a president what to do. Like, it's almost like he expected that he would have more power and more pull just because he funded Donald Trump's campaign. But again, to me, he should know that. I mean, he's not the president. And then he's going on this childish little slander campaign. That's how I know it's more to it. It's a huge distraction. I'm already barely 1 foot in with Trump. Because certain situations I don't like. For example, let me give you an example. I'm gonna pull it up. So just recently here, Now, I informed you guys about the situation dealing with. Actually, let me talk about that right now. Let me 1 second. Let me pull that up. Like as we speak, let me pull it up. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this up. So y'all may recall me telling you guys that we, and when I say we, I'm referring to my team and including my wife. We took it to them, you know, as far as who was them. We took it to the education department, the Department of Education, about certain issues that we had with certain discrepancies dealing with American history. Okay, Harriet Tubman being one of them. Now, it's still up to them on what they're going to do. Okay, but they actually moved pretty quickly based off of what we have. Now, at that time, the National Park Service removed references to Harriet Tubman from the Underground Railroad webpage. Now, of course, we were taking shots at the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian got like 28 facilities altogether, if I'm saying it correctly. And of course, they have a hold of a lot of the information dealing with American history. 1, 2, a lot of it is propaganda. Tons of it. You're not receiving the truth about what happened here. And especially when it comes to our people. But National Park Service removed it. The Democrats got mad. They got upset. They wanted to, you know, oh no, we got to go through the proper channels, blah, 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 blah. They retracted this and put it back up, right? Not quite the same, but they put it back up. And need I remind you, if she was in fact real, this wouldn't have happened. Okay? Now here recently, and I told you guys back then, I said, it's not over. I said other things are going to happen because of course, I'm still in the meetings. I'm still hearing what's going on. You know, again, I can only provide the information. I can't tell them what to do. I'm not in charge of any of that. So don't, as far as me debunking Harriet Tubman, you could put that on me. And we go get into that here in a second. But I just wanted to show you that here recently, just 2 days ago. Hold on, let me pause that. We're going to come to that in a second. And this is a part of this I don't like. I'm going to say this up front. I don't like a portion of this because it has to deal with civil rights leaders that did exist. They're trying to rename, the Trump administration is forcing the U.S. Army to rename their vessels. Changing the names of the ships from the civil rights leaders. Now, when we scroll down, did I make this too big? Let me see. I don't think I made it. I think y'all can see it pretty good. All right. One of them is Harriet Tubman. Here we go. Right here. Like the Thurgood Marshall. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, I understand if it's for, you calling out the fake and, you trying to keep the real. But when you getting rid of, I don't like this part. Like, I don't like this. I disagree with that. I wouldn't want that to be deleted. But, it's going to be some people out there with like, well, nah, it needs to be a certain numbers. It needs to be this and that and the third, blah, 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 blah. It was almost like they're just paying homage to civil rights leaders, were some of these people okay? They were, ain't, But I just don't like it. I'm not going to be dwelling on it and say, oh man, this is the end all be all, and I just don't like that part. Okay, but so now you seeing my side. It's not like, okay, so to preference all of this, it's not like I wanted Harriet Tubman to be fake. I didn't. I went in that situation so I could do a documentary on Harriet Tubman, my wife and I actually, so we could learn all information about Harriet Tubman, even the stuff that, you know, you can't regurgitate from a book that you're not familiar with. We went that far. And the same thing with Nat Turner, I'll get into that in a second. But Harriet Tubman, once we found out that she was created by an act of Congress, and the creator of her story was Sarah Bradford of Geneva, Switzerland. And that's documented. We already put this stuff out by way of book and videos. We showed you the documentation. We have everything. In fact, I may even show a bit. And I mean that. Those of you that got a book, I'm not showing them the whole book. Those of you that got the books from us, don't get upset. I'm just going to show a piece, just a piece of two with certain things. Okay? Don't get upset. I'm not about to show the whole book, and I know you pay for that. But okay, the reason why is because certain people out there are stuck on just the story. They're stuck on just regurgitating what they're familiar with when it comes to the story versus actually attempting to prove if she's actually real. Like they're just straight up, oh, of course she's real. She's blah, 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 blah. Right? That's what you're going to hear. So I'm going to show a couple of things really quick before we move on to what I'm also going to be showing you. One of my videos, they clipped up and put it on this thing called Threads. That's what happened. That's the reason why you see people on TikTok and people on Instagram being upset and they going back and forth. A lot of them saying, yeah, I knew Harriet Tubman wasn't real. I knew that. And then there's also some people out there that say, no, Harriet Tubman is real. So I had to find out where that, came from. I thought it was Twitter, but it wasn't. It was this thing called Threads. And I believe Threads is owned by Instagram or something like that. But they clipped up portions of my live stream where I was going into the records. I was tired that day too. I was a little upset that they clipped that up, but when I was going over the records during the live stream, and I'm talking about I was extremely tired, but I mean it was very informative, and of course I was posting everything. I was posting everything up. So those clips are on Threads now, and it went viral. Then the conversation sparked up because simultaneously this situation happened dealing with the U.S. naval ships being renamed. And of course, Harriet Tubman's name was one of them. In fact, let me show you guys this really quickly. Like they even posting that on Twitter. Like they're constantly, even white folks are constantly repeating it, trying to, shove it down, Niji's faces. Like, look how they doing it on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like they, out of all of those people, you gonna show Harriet Tubman. You know what I mean? Oh, it's a big deal, blah, 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 blah. We got to stop this. And, but again, she's a fictional character created by an act of Congress. I'm going to show you something. Before we get into that portion, I'm going to show you some responses from certain people. One of them was this young lady right here. Now, the majority of these videos that I'm getting ready to play, in fact, all of them were videos that you guys sent to me. One of them I didn't get a chance to grab in time, so I had to, actually look up her TikTok to see what it was, to see what the fuss about. Now, apparently she took this video down. The video that I'm getting ready to play is a re-upload of her video. Apparently she took it down because I believe she made an apology video because she didn't, she couldn't handle that type of heat. I'm gonna play that too. And we're gonna be watching it together because this is actually my first time going over this stuff. I just literally took it and pulled it to the side. So I'm gonna listen to it and I'll probably pause and respond to certain things that I feel as though needs to, have a response.
Ever since I found out Harriet Tubman is not a real person, it fucked me up, I'm not gonna lie. Because her real name is Araminta Ross. And she was a spy for the United States government. Her real name, Araminta, is not connected to the Harriet Tubman. And Sojourner Truth's real name is Isabella Bumfrey. Same thing, was also a spy. Yeah, if they were published in American history and it was Black history, they were spies, bro. They've been trafficking people. Underground. It's all underground. And they want us to look up and idolize these people. Oh, well, they look just like me, so I must look up to them. Stop that shit immediately. Because if they're talking about it, raving about this person's bravery, don't fucking trust it. They probably fucked over Black America. Due to that manipulation alone, I believe that we should separate ourselves. Because if the government is hiring these actors, pretending to do good in the community, and they're actually doing harm, that's very harmful. To weaponize education is evil at its highest. Mother Teresa, too. It's like, she was renowned for being this sweet woman, and really she's not sweet at all. She was starving them kids. She was also abusive. But they're not going to talk about that. Because these people already have foundations and museums and schools named after them and streets. It's all a fucking act. And I'm glad to see people are starting to... When you start lying about history to fit your narrative, that to me automatically should be a war. Not a war with violence, but a war in saying that it's time to separate ourselves. Because we deserve a society with the truth. And if we have to build it and put in work, I'm willing to do it. It's going to get worse with time. Because it's going to go from manipulating history to manipulating you in the present moment. Which you're doing right now already.
That's already happened. Yeah.
And it's just going to continue to spiral because there's no one checking these people. Or there's people who are afraid to bring up an alternative society. People don't want to.
Wow. Wow. She deserves a bomb. I like everything she said. I like everything she said. Now, of course, she's receiving backlash, and so is other ladies that was coming up talking about Harriet Tubman. Oh, I knew that wasn't true, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to play all of them. I'm just going to play some of them because there's a lot of them that was happening on TikTok and Instagram. And I'm also going to show you the sides where people were combating. Actually, let me play the one where I believe he's a gay guy, was combating what she was saying. But I want you to notice something. Listen to how they're going to combat everybody that I'm getting ready to play without me even knowing what they're getting ready to say. The only thing they can do is repeat the story. That's the same thing that people of religious societies, you pick them, that's what they do. Oh, no, Dane. No. But keep in mind, the Bible is cool. No. But yeah, those enemies came over here with the Bible. But that don't mean that, you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's always an excuse. Like they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to investigate what actually happened. The reason for them to bring religion over here was to stop the revolts and the rebellions from occurring. Then people were coming up here, those foreigners that were coming through. It wasn't a great migrational period then when they first started in the 1600s. When they got here, our ancestors were looking at them like, yo, who is this? And started knocking them off one by one. I'm censoring it because you know how YouTube go when you get a little, on touchy topics. You know how YouTube is PG-13 a little bit, So I got to keep it PG-13 with certain things. But it's unfortunate because that is the exact same way that they locked or indoctrinated our people's mindsets into thinking that they have been victimized in a way where they can't come up out of it. This is the reason why certain Christians believe that Deuteronomy has all to do with us. No. Why would you attach yourself to a curse that you had no idea about until you was taught about it? Why would you attach yourself to a curse that you had no idea about until you was taught about it? Because if you had no idea about that curse, right, in Deuteronomy, it wouldn't be affecting you. right now. Just like the Africans, when you tell them about the so-called slave trade story, it didn't affect them. So when you come to authentic Africans with that same story, they not gonna know what you talking about. Huh? My ancestors got kidnapped. What you talking about? I never heard of that. Multiple Africans have came out and said that. I played them in my docs. I played them during my live streams. Played them in my videos. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Consistently, we are not the same people at all. And they consistently repeat that. They know that we're not. You just don't. But yet you want to be African so bad. All of these years, what did Africa do for us? You want the government to give you reparations, and you think Africa not if the story was true, Africa wouldn't be responsible for anything? Huh? Like, okay, hold on. Let me play this other video that was sent to me. Now, this is one of the videos I did watch because I find this to be so sad. The way our people try to, I didn't even know this. And look at how many boats. Watch this. Watch this.
I learned that there were approximately 12,000 ships that brought 12.5 million Africans to the Americas.
Stop. We know that's an issue. We debunked this already. We debunked that number, and you know they were not mass produced at that time to a point where they had 12,000 ships. Give me a break. They weren't even mass produced like that in the late 1800s. 12,000 ships? But you only know the name of one of them. You gonna say one of them was named Jesus, right? Remember how they do? 12,000. 1800s. And then 12.5 million enslaved Africans. Well, keep in mind, years ago, y'all can pull up my old stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Years ago, I challenged slavevoyagers.org and the history.com or the History Channel and the Discovery Channel. They ended up changing these numbers. It went from 12.5 million to like 300,000. I forgot the number. It was in that. All the way down to 92,000 enslaved Africans between the 1600s and the 1800s. 92. When she said 12.5 million Africans to the Americas, and slavevoyagers.org dropped their numbers down from 12.5 million to 92,000. It should be a red flag. There should be a light bulb that goes off right in your brain right now to tell you that they have been lying to you about the transatlantic slave trade. Number one, it wasn't even even called transatlantic. Nobody's getting through that Atlantic with them ocean gyres there. Nobody. You will be lost at sea with those ocean gyres. And look, and what route that they took when you got the coral reefs hugging the coast that you can't tell where the coral reefs are, okay? Without a GPS indicating that you're too close to a coral reef, because that would damage your boat. And you mean to tell me they knew what route to take in the 1800s with no GPS, 1700s, no GPS? It was all safe and sound. They were able to go through tumultuous weather conditions. Everything is fine, safe and sound. They knew how to navigate the seas. Really? You giving them too much props. You see how you uplifting a group of people without them
even doing anything. You bigging them up. You giving them way too much power. Because you filling in, that's what his American history, unfortunately, that's what it's about. It's about creating a story and leaving loopholes in order for you to fill in the blanks, fill in the gaps with your imagination. That's conceptualism. And then they give you the picture. Paintings, watercolor paintings, and whatever they choose. Conceptual arts. In my last video, didn't they do that to our people again during the New Negro movement? What'd they come in with, y'all? They came in with the conceptual arts, didn't they? Changed up our genres of music, invited more foreigners in, and we all mixed in, and we couldn't tell who was who. Then the New Negro came, right? The Renaissance, the Harlem Renaissance is called literally the New Negro movement. They did that on purpose. And if you think they wouldn't do it back then in order to confuse you, see, that's stolen identity. That's identity fraud. And then another time, what was it? Racial Integrity Act, 1924, Walter Plecker, Registrar, going over there to the Virginia Assembly. The Virginia Assembly liked that idea. Oh, matter of fact, let's change the identity on paper. Then it's streamlined because the word got back to the president. It went to every other state. We were the only ones that were misclassified or reclassified over and over and over and over. Nobody else, that didn't happen to nobody else. The term Native American wasn't even thought of because there was no such thing as a group of people named Native American at that time. Right now, those foreigners, those what we call the $5 Indians, but the Siberian descendants, the Asian descents right now, that and they could be Mexican, they could be some form of Latino out there that's attached to these tribes that don't got no idea about these tribes. That's why all of them do the exact same thing. Their powwows look the same, they dress the same, their hair dresses the same, their language is almost damn near the same. They doing that on purpose. They making fun of you. How the Dakota and the Lakota and the Sioux doing the same celebrations? Uh-oh. Huh? Wearing the same hairdresses. We not doing that right now. What makes you think we was doing that back then? All right, let me leave it alone.
Americas. She got 12,000 ships. Mm-hmm. What I realized was that I could not tell you the name of a single one of those ships growing up, but I could tell you about the Mayflower.
Stop. What does that mean? You could tell us about the Mayflower, but you can't tell me the name of any one of those ships. Remember when I told you about the ships that happened in Virginia, 1619? This is the reason why they came out with the 1619 project. Because of me. Because I tore them to pieces on that 1619 joint. I was the reason I introduced them to Fort Monroe, aka Point Comfort, Virginia, aka now Hampton, Virginia. I told them that the treasure war landed there because he got lost. That's documented. It's on video. You can't take that from me. They changed up everything. I wiped them clean. I told them about the San Juan Bautista. That was that year that it was asking me to get a Wikipedia page, and I turned it down. That same year. I said, no, thank you. A lot of people was turning their nose up back then, even though the videos was going viral, but I knew better than that. My ancestors kept telling me, keep going. Sooner or later, our people are going to wake up. And you mean to tell me just because she think that it's 12,000 ships and she don't know none of the names, oh, but it existed. And these 12,000 ships over a period of time carried over 12.5 million Africans. How many Eurasians did it take to capture 12.5 million Africans? Where's that number? Where is it? Huh? I mean, because the boat can't do it on its own, right? You got to steer it, right? You got to steer it. You got to have people on that boat to make sure everything is in line. And that don't even account for the people that died during that trip. That's not an overnight trip. That's more than 90 days to get there and more than 90 days to get back. Think about that. Are they able to survive? When all of those so-called enslaved Africans packed on that boat like sardines, where is the room for the cargo? Because they were cargo ships. Where's the room? You can't drink seawater. That'll kill them. The stench from the dead bodies that's on the boat, that'll kill them. The stench from people pee-peeing and boo-booing, that'll kill them. Tell me how they survived here. You're giving these folks too much power. Stop filling in the blanks and falling for the BS. Same thing happened with the Harriet Tubman story. We getting there. Same thing. And I was pissed that they did that. I was so upset. And I'm a researcher, ethnographic researcher. That means I'm in the field. Historian. I did my research. I did my discoveries. I paid for documents. I paid for books. Primary and secondary sources. The third party source is the internet that came in the 1980s. That goes the same way with your DNA testing, 1980s. The internet, 1980s. Spanking brand new. Nah, they know we got Chat GPT now. Chat GPT ain't nothing but Google. These are algorithms that are learning you based off of your input. And there is a biasness because they're going to cater to you. That's what they're designed to do. Whatever you like, they're going to sell it back to you. You didn't catch on to that yet? You're not talking to a human being. You're talking to a program designed by a human being. There's nothing credible about that. Yeah, they could pull up somebody's birth date and location maybe. But what makes you think they're accurate in all information, especially when it comes to historical information, when we already know the entire system, education system, is fraudulent? What makes you think that these algorithms are so accurate? Why do you think censorship exists? In the majority of the case, censorship exists because the truth was coming out. They wanted to censor the truth. They wanted to shadow ban the truth, making us work even harder to get that information out, to bypass their systems of suppression. And you got the nerve to turn around and repeat what you learned in school and think that's the truth. That's called indoctrination. That's embarrassing. Our people have to come up out of that slave mentality. There was no such thing as shackles on your ankles, around your wrists. That didn't happen. No, it didn't. Unless you was a prisoner of war right here in America. Now, if you was working on the railroad all the live long day, that's something different. Just to pass the time away, you working on the railroad literally. You out there in a jumpsuit when it's hot and you sing your psalms and your hymns. Remember we went over that? That's a part of the blues. Shout out to the Mississippi Delta, right? That's a part of jazz. Or all that contemporary music we came up with, ragtime. That was our form of country music before country music is what it is today. They was copying us. We the trendsetters. We the chosen people. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And we got to stop allowing these foreigners to, you think you this, you think you that. It ain't no we think we this, we think we that. We know we this. We know we that. That's the difference. See, our people got to start stepping up now. Stop allowing that tail to get stuck in between your legs and you whining. Because you can recall our generations back in the 1940s and beyond, not forward, go backwards. Our families were together, mother and father, big families, children was around. We were doing good. Everything was fine. We were prospering in the 1800s. The biggest capitalists of this society, right after so-called slavery, right after so-called antebellum. How was that? We own acres of land. I'm talking about acres of land. Had money. Abraham Lincoln saw all of that and said, thank you, we owe y'all. Matter of fact, let me open up some banks for y'all. Y'all been free. Here go the Freeman Bureau banks. Here, I want to uplift y'all. They took him out. He didn't even get a chance to see it open. Poof, he just magically disappeared. And Frederick Douglass stepped in, spent his tens, they said it verbatim, tens of thousands, that's a quote, tens of thousands of his own money to save the Freedmen banks. Where'd he get that money from? Dang, he sold a newspaper. Really? How he know how to write a newspaper? He taught himself, Dane. Oh, so he ain't learned that in Africa, right? Just like we ain't learned how to play the blues, how to play the acoustic guitar, the harmonica, the piano. We ain't learned that in Africa. We never came from there. We already had this. We were already talented. Why you think everybody that came over here enjoyed every single thing that we did? We were the masters of the arts and the entertainment. That's why they're using it against us right now. Still to this day. They know our people are so spiritual. Our spirituality vibrate within our bodies inside and out. That's why we go off the beat of the drum. Them Native Americans beating the drum one time. Boom, boom, boom. We was out there getting busy on them drums. It ain't just happened in Africa. Them pan goofies to turn around and tell you we circumnavigated the globe. And they just skip America. No, you know, it was nothing. It was Asians over here. But, oh, okay. So we circumnavigated the globe, but we skipped America. Right. One of the largest land. Matter of fact, it's bigger than Africa. Don't let that Mercator world map fool you. Bigger than Africa. A lot larger landmass. We only separated by imaginary lines. All of the Americas is way larger than Africa. Way more resourceful too. Our lands are fertile. Anytime you look at a map of America, they go tell you Wait a minute. Well, go grab the atlas. We need to be able to go around and figure our way out. An atlas. Another word for atlas is mountains. Another word for atlas is mountains. Anytime you look at an atlas, what are they showing you? Mountains. Google Earth got a little part where they pull up all the mountains all around. Now, I'm saying mountains, but you can say mounds. You can say pyramids. It did exist. Same thing with the underground tunnels leading from those mounds or mountains underground and then coming back up too. And then how come conveniently the original railroads was running in the same direction? You think we weren't civilized enough to take care of ourselves? Oh, we was just running around naked? That's what they want you to believe. But yet we're more talented than anybody else out here. And that's the truth. That's nothing racist. Without you, it would be no them. Those foreigners were coming over here. We had to teach them how to bathe. We had to teach them how to take care of their own children. Literally, you can still pull the pictures up of our Niji women out there breastfeeding them babies. Them Caucasian babies or Eurasian babies. European babies. This is facts. This ain't no cap. But yeah, y'all want to constantly give these foreigners all the credit. And they turn around and say, yeah, no, well, history was written by the victors anyway. And I'll tell you all the time, and you know what I'm about to tell you. How was history written by the victors? And we catching them in lie after lie after lie after lie. If they actually won anything, they wouldn't need to lie. Right? Only a loser will have the audacity to make it seem as if they won when they didn't. That's an illusion. And they still forcing you into that slave mentality, nothing but an illusion. I can't believe it was 12,000 ships and the only thing that I was taught was the Mayflower. And whole time, that was where the foreigners was coming off of, right? We got those pictures. How come that's not duly noted? Multiple videos of mine on my channel, I showed you way more people who were Eurasian coming over here by boats. Those pictures exist. I also showed you the pictures of the white slaves that they want to keep quiet. The ones that were sentenced to transportation and expelled from their motherlands and was sent over here, sent over to Australia, sent to Canada, sent to South America. They sent over their peasants, their peons. They sent over their slaves, their Slavs, their prostitutes, their children, their orphans. Y'all know about the orphan ring? It was a law, bloody code, UK, where if the parents couldn't help themselves, they would take their children and lock one of the parents up and expel the other parent from that landmass. That was law. And I dare you not to believe me. I dare you to write this down and look it up. I dare you. I dare you to make a video writing down what I'm stating verbatim and seeing if you can't find it. I dare you. Everything that I'm stating can be publicly verified. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm just now getting recognition. They wanted me to sell y'all out a long time ago. They wanted me to hurry up and shut up. I said, nope. I'm not joining with that fraternity, that society. I'm not joining with that. No. I don't need the political party, blah, 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 blah. I turned it all down. I don't need that interview. I don't need that white girl contract. I don't need... We can't break Dane. Let's make up some lies about him. He talking about flat earth, y'all. He got a white woman. He got a white wife. His father white, y'all. They had to come up with a whole bunch of shit. He was lying. He was claiming that he was related to some Native American woman. He was getting sued, y'all. He was getting all of that. I beat every single one of them, including that fraudulent lawsuit. They ain't want to tell you how that lawsuit got thrown out 3 times. No judge wanted to take it. And that tribe in New York was so mad because what? Oh, you afraid that I'm going to expose that is being led by all foreigners? That's what you're afraid of? Huh? Nothing but pale faces. Pale-faced lawyer. Pale-faced genealogist. Pale-faced principal chief. You what? Huh? That's why I named myself the principal chief. That's why I said, oh, you gonna learn who Tito Lamachati is. I'm right here. I don't care if you get mad neither.
I could tell you about the Titanic. I could tell you about all these other ships that were considered important, but I couldn't name one of those.
One of 12,000.
That didn't feel right to me. So it's the first stat. The second one, and this is the one that sits heaviest.
They always
on my
say
heart.
go with your gut feeling. It didn't feel right to me. They always notice how she said that. Trust your gut. Let your conscience be your guide. But all of that goes out the window. It didn't feel right to you. But then she learned that there were 1.8 million Africans who died, coming over here, right?
That there were 1.8 million Africans who died just in the crossing from Africa to the Americas.
There's no such thing as crossing from Africa to the Americas, not with the Ocean Jaya there. No such, look, notice how we going for it, y'all. We falling for it. Notice the pattern. They can't come straight across the Atlantic. They can barely hug the coast when they don't know where the coral reefs are. We talking about back then. You're giving them way too much credit. You got to wake up.
We're not talking about the number of people who died once they arrived and were enslaved. Just in the
transition.
I didn't know it was 1.8 million people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was like, where the memorial? Who's honoring that enormous loss of life? I was like, there are chapters of history that are just missing. So this work felt really important to me to be a part of.
Okay. So now I'm about to show y'all something else. Notice how that they told y'all, right? That this is a picture of Harriet Tubman. Matter of fact, let me get into that right now. They told y'all that this was a picture of Harriet Tubman. Y'all believed them. Should I bust this wide open right now? They told y'all this was a picture of Harriet Tubman, right? Let me show y'all something real quick. When you type in American slaves and you want to look at the images, right? Let's just say, let's pick a few of them real quick. Let's Let's pick them real quick, right? We know who Harriet Tubman is based off of what they were saying, right? Who are these people? Nobody laid claim to them, did they? Hold up. What about them? That ain't your aunt, that ain't your uncle? Listen to what I'm pointing out. Hold up. Whose family is this? Y'all catching on to the pattern? Hold up. What about that? Who are they? These ain't nobody's family members? Ain't nobody step forward? That's my aunt. That's my cousin. That's my uncle. That's my father. Nobody stepped up yet, right? Listen. We could go on and on and on. Keep game. All they had to do was randomly pick a picture. And say, that's Harriet Tubman. I could have, I could do the same thing. I could say, hold on, y'all, look. I want y'all to meet my family. They go Grace, they go Bruce, they go Ashley, they go Shakia. I could do that. Because we not laying claim to not only our family's images, but their records as well.
It's up.
What are you doing, Dane? Why you got me thinking so hard? That's called critical thinking. They don't want you to use that skill that you naturally possess inside of compulsory educational institutions. They want you to forget about that. This is the reason why the teacher told you to hold all of your questions until the end of the lesson so you can forget. They don't want you to question anything. That's called indoctrination. Accepting a certain set of beliefs that somebody else created for you now, uncritically, meaning without question. Anybody can pick these pictures. Anybody. Look at all these people. There's somebody's whole family right here. They ain't come claim. And notice how they tell you that, nah, Dane, the records stop at 1850, Dane. But you don't know how deep this go. Not all of our family members was keeping a portfolio of their family members. Right or wrong? And then you turn around and attaching yourselves to these stories and you didn't go verify if it was true or not for your own individual family. What is that, Dane? It's called genealogy. Not genealogy, DNA testing. When some foreigner's doing some shadow work behind the scenes and poof, you magically 40% this and 30% that. Paper trail. It's a big difference. Big difference. Everything that happened here, everything that happened here was documented. Everything that happened here was documented. Don't forget, the census started in the 1790s. So how do we got these stories of the 1619 in Hampton, Virginia? Is, you know, how we get that? If records stop at 1850, what are we doing knowing about George Washington? Benjamin Banneker, James Madison. How do we know if records stop at 1850? Put it together. But yet, when I type in, you can type in antebellum slavery, American slavery. Look at this. Look at this. Notice how I'm not showing you pictures of our people, of our ancestors with chains and shackles. They just say, no, these slaves. Look. Making you fill in the blank. And keep in mind, these algorithms giving it to you. Right? That'll make it true. This could be your Uncle Willie. This could be somebody's. I'm just saying, this is unclaimed people. And notice how, look, peep game, see how they dressing? Watch this. Let's do it live. I want to show you something, right? Let's do it live. Peep game. Look at these pictures that they claiming is Harriet Tubman. All they had to do was go with somebody that looks similar. Real easy. Real easy. And I'm going to give you something as to the reason why I know this to be true by way of documentation, that they were selecting whoever they wanted. Whoever they wanted. I'm looking for a particular picture. Not that one. It's one where she was with a group of people where she had, there you go, where she had her head down. They telling you that's Harriet Tubman. Now, in my book, I showed you guys that the original source of this image, and at that time, the original source did not have the names of these people. So that left it up for grabs because nobody wanted to claim these people. And the only person that was noted was Harriet Tubman. Now, how did they know that that was Harriet Tubman when Harriet Tubman wasn't even her real name? How'd they know that? No. You said her name was Araminta Ross, right? How they know that's Harriet Tubman if that wasn't her name now? No paperwork, no documentation, right? Oh, she didn't go down to the clerk office to get her name changed legally? Listen. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other people in this picture. And we don't know their names. They didn't tell you their names. They don't want to tell you their names. But nah, they wanted to tell you about Harriet Tubman, right? And just because that picture matched, they ran with it. I'm just saying. And notice how they saying that she got sisters and brothers. Where their pictures at?
It's up.
She had sisters and brothers, Dane. Okay. She did. You using your imagination again. She ain't know how to read or write. How she know how to spell her own name? Woo. They said that she was illiterate. How did she know how to spell her name? Listen, before I even get to the documentation I'm about to show you, I'm just, again, critical thinking. Now I'm about to show you something. Again, those of y'all that bought the book, you don't have to worry. I'm not showing the whole book. Okay? But I want to show them something. They got to know it. Now, hold on. What the hell is this? Oh, no. Okay. Hold up. Wait, no. That's the wrong thing. Hold on. I'm about to grab it. But in the book, here we go. I got it now. In the book on page, matter of fact, let me come down a little bit. Because I know where it's at because I remember the picture. Right here. Here we go. Now, around about page 62, I want to read something to you. And I want to show you something. Because they did the exact same thing with the pictures. Now, it says, in the year 1896, at a suffrage convention, or rather a voting convention for women's rights in New York, Harriet Tubman was allegedly quoted stating the following, quote, "I was the conductor of the Underground Railroad for 8 years, and I can say what most conductors can't say. I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger." Now, what's interesting to note about this quote is that she indicated to the public what her job description and position were for 8 years with the Underground Railroad. Harriet Tubman acknowledged that she was literally a train conductor, in which a train conductor is responsible for overall operations of rail systems and safety measures for its ongoing passengers or oncoming passengers. So in this quote, which was said to have been stated by Harriet Tubman directly, she admits to performing her duties without error, while also indicating that she cannot say the same for other conductors of the Underground Railroad. That's not it. Just let that be known. Let it sink in. So the question remains, how was Harriet Tubman cognizant of the routes ranging from south to northern parts of these lands and all the way up to Canada, with her being an alleged runaway slave? She grew up in Maryland, right? Now, and how is it that Harriet Tubman hinted that it was more than one conductor of the Underground Railroad, but she was the only one chosen to be duly noted by American history? Who are the others? What is also very important to note here is that many of the locations, we get into it now, here you go, is that many of the locations that were originally known and listed as, quote, stations were later changed to be described as safe houses. For example, on October 10th, 1980, a House Resolution Act was passed by Congress that allowed for the establishment of the Boston African American National Historic Site. Listen closely. The African American Meeting House. And it also allowed for the creation and the development of a free African American community within the Beacon Hill area prior to the Civil War in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, I'm going to quickly show y'all this document real quick, because this is a side of the book, and I'm not trying to give everything away. But this is it. Public Law 96-430, October 10th, 1980. Boston, Title 1, Boston African American National Historic Site. Now, I'm highlighting certain things that I'm getting ready to point out. I just want you to know that this is real documentation. Like, I have this, okay? So let me read what I'm about to say. And this is just a speck of the proof. I'm talking about a speck of the proof, okay? That they were changing shit up. Now, listen. This 1980 act was signed into law to grant executive authorization, or rather, quote, cooperative agreements, don't forget that I'm quoting for the document, between the Secretary of Interior of the Department of Interior and the National Park Service Department. Listen, didn't we come after the National Park Service and they immediately took her down? Huh? Oh, let me remind you. Okay? To choose any, quote, significant properties within the boundary of the site and can be determined that, quote, area as the Boston African American National Historic Site. By the way, they did this exact same thing with Nat Turner. We got them in their tracks. We stopped them because they was about to create a trail in Southampton, Virginia on Nat Turner so they can make money. This is about a tourist attraction, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know why they were doing that, the number 2 money maker was tourist attraction. Copper-colored residents of the Beacon Hill area were already suffering from an undergoing gentrification process by way of the government. And politicians with political power thought it would be a great opportunity to cover a lie with another lie and another lie and then another lie. And here's why. Particular properties of the Beacon Hill area, whether publicly or privately owned, were chosen by the secretary to immediately become official historic locations, taught throughout American history and even African American history. And many of these chosen locations were not the original location of the story it represents. In fact, the famously known Hayden House in Boston, Massachusetts, was chosen by the Secretary of Interior as a safe house of the Underground Railroad, in which he commissioned the National Center for the Study of Afro-American History and Culture that same year, in order to create the story behind it, knowing that this story is absolutely not true. Now, I'm not going to show you everything. I was just about to pull it out. I'm not going to show you everything. But, hold on. Let me. Y'all don't get. I'm just. Let me at least show them the. Hold on. But in this same book, we showed you that they did the exact same thing with Nat Turner. Hold on. I'm looking for something specific. Let me make sure I got it real quick. Same exact thing. They was picking and choosing sites to say, all right, that's it right there. Oh, you know what? Let me give them a. Should I show them this? Damn, y'all got to get the book, because I mean we got so much shit in here. I don't want to go crazy because I don't want to get nobody upset. I just want to really quickly show y'all. I mean, because we got all the affidavits, we got the act of Congress, all that stuff is in there. When I say that she was literally created by an act of Congress by Sarah Bradford, of Geneva, Switzerland. It said right here in the government documents. I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, that's not going to be fair if I post that and people pay for that book. It's in the book. You on page 90. Let me go back to it because I went up 90. Started 98. Page 98. But I wanted you to see that house really quickly. I'm debating if I should show that. Yeah, nah. All right, here we go. Yeah, they created the study groups. We went into that also. All right, so tell you what, let me just let me just show this part real quick. Like, so certain people that don't know, when they do grab the book, they're gonna actually see that we actually are posting the records that we grabbed inside of the book. Okay, so this is one of the affidavits with all of the writing. Like, you could literally see it. Okay, you can see how it got the X mark, and it says Harriet Davis. Okay, 104. It's more. Look, I'm a breeze storm. You about to see all the. Hold up, really quickly. I'm going too fast. Hold up, I'm going too fast. But I'm not trying to look. All the records in here. Like, we pay for everything. Everything. Not a joke. Not a joke. Okay? Not a game. She's not real. But anyway. So yeah, I'm not gonna show the house. I just got the text message. And but yeah, just to let you know what's in there. We got it. And we kept it for ourselves. And we got backup just in case they try to get rid of it. But yeah, and the same thing with Nat Turner. Now, Nat Turner's situation, he was, I guess I'll show one thing with Nat Turner. Let me at least do that. One thing from the book. Just one. I'm only one, y'all. Please don't get mad. Just one, baby. I hope she don't give me that text message. Just one. I promise. One thing. Because it's talking about both Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman. Let me just show one thing. Now, I just want to show y'all now. Okay, at this particular portion, I'm going to show you how Thomas Redfern Gray was the creator of this. I'm going to flash it on the screen really quickly. Okay, Thomas Redfern Gray, he was published, and that was copyrighted by him. I'll also show you that document, but I'll also show you that he got that story of Nat from the Richmond wig right here. From the Richmond wig, okay? That originally came from this. And I also show you the article of how it went. I swear to God, this is the last thing, baby. Right here. All right, I'm out. That's it. I'm out. But it's right here where it was describing him. And his name was Nat Turner. And then I also show you how Thomas Redfern Gray told you that the last name Turner was an alias that he created. Okay? There was no such thing as Nat Turner. The name of the book is called False Heroes, False Hopes. False Heroes, False Hopes. Hold on, I'm going to show you. Uh-oh, where'd it go? What the hell? This thing just tripped out. Okay, here you go. All right, yeah, I got it now. All right, so this is what the album cover. This is what the front cover looked like. You go see Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman. But get that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I dared him to debunk it. I dared him. I dare you. I dare you. And that's both of them in there now. So all of that information, by the way, the government has. Okay. Now, again, we forced the National Park Service It's not just her situation. But yeah, they took that down. And of course, the Democrats got mad. Somebody got to go through the proper channels. That was their terminology that they were using. And they, reneged. They put it back up. And then now you're saying that they're trying to take it down off the vessel. And it's not over with. It's not over with. Dane, what is the reason why you're doing this? Let me explain. Because I'm about telling the truth. If I see fraud, I'm going to call it out. Now, if Harriet Tubman was real, okay, fine. Great. But you just can't latch onto the story. Okay. And oh no, but Harriet Tubman was, and you go the feminist route, for example. Like you can't do this.
So apparently we reached the part of digital delusion where people are out here saying that Harriet Tubman wasn't real. And honestly,
see, and then all of these people are going to do is just talk. That's it. That's all they're going to do. No records, no nothing. Talk, and regurgitate the story.
I should have known we were headed here, right? Because the moment you start telling the real truth about Black resistance, somebody always tries to rewrite the ending. But this time, they picked the wrong one, all right? Let me make this real simple. Harriet Tubman was a real person.
Cap.
I think the problem is that a lot of them just can't fathom the idea that a disabled Black woman who couldn't read, lived with seizures, and was born into bondage, still outsmarted the system multiple times over. So instead of sitting with that, y'all default to, oh, well, she must be a myth. Because
she outsmarted the system. I'm telling y'all, and it be our own people that's making us look bad now. Outsmarted what system? What system? What are you talking about, sister? What system? Keep in mind, you basing this off of your imagination based on how the story go, right? You think she real. She is a real person, right? How can you verify that she got relatives if you've never seen what her family looked like? If they got pictures of her, they should have pictures of her family members. Photography was out back then. If that was allegedly her. Come on now.
God forbid someone exists outside the mold that you've been spoon-fed. So let's run this back. She was born Araminta Ross in Maryland. Yeah, she was enslaved. She took a blow to the skull from her overseer that nearly killed her.
How do we know that? How do we know that she took a blow from her overseer on her skull that nearly killed her? How do we know that? Sarah Bradford created that. That was Sarah Bradford. A whole white lady.
In her 20s, she could have stayed gone. But she didn't. She went back again and again and walked more than 70 people to freedom. And no, she didn't float on vibes. She knew the signs, the land, the networks.
How? The signs, the lands, the networks. How? And then who are the 70 people that she freed? Listen, look. Think about that. Think about that. Just like they said that Nat Turner, listen to the 70 part. They said Nat Turner killed 70 people, right? Men, women, and children. Don't forget that, right? Don't forget that. But we only know one family, which is the Rebecca family. Out of all them people he killed, they only duly noted the Rebecca family that he allegedly killed. Come on now. She freed 70 people. I would have wrote a book. Somebody would have said something, verified it. Harriet Tubman freed us. Thank you, Jesus. Lord, have mercy. Thank you, Harriet Tubman. Really? One woman, one shotgun, freed 70 people. One woman, one shotgun. Overseers had horses, stables, shotguns. She's on foot. One shotgun. Talking about something she could have freed more if they wanted to be free, right? One shotgun. No shoes. In the fields. Running away. Freed 70. Who are those people? It's a reason.
She carried a gun. She told people, you'll be free or you'll be dead. Pick one. But wait, there's more. She worked with John Brown. She served as a Union spy.
Stop. Why are we holding that up high? She worked with John Brown. She worked as a Union spy. Why is that a great thing? She worked on the Union side. Remember when I showed y'all that Abraham Lincoln requested thousands of immigrants to come over here so he could fill up the Union Army? Because the original Union Army went where, y'all? Chat, where did the original army go? The original Union Army. They fled the Union and went where? And went with the Confederate. Documentation. I showed you that. So that was nothing but our people that she was spying on? If her story is true, why are we holding that up high? That heifer over there fighting for them foreigners, huh? Huh? It was nothing but foreigners on the Union side. That's why they had to come to a compromise. Because them folks was not military trained. They wasn't ready to go up against an army of soldiers ready to fight. You out of your mind? Oh, and just because she hold a shotgun don't mean she know how to fight. Her and what army was going to take out the Confederate army? Her and what army? Freed 70 people. Ain't even tell you who the overseer was. Skip that. Ain't even tell you the route she took. They skipped that. But she knew the land. So that's the little hint right there to say that she indigenous. She knew the land. She knew how to go from Maryland to Canada. And her entire life, she never left Maryland. All of a sudden, she cool with the Union and started working for them. Yeah, okay. Union spy, huh?
And led the Combahee River Raid in 1863, freeing over 700 people.
Notice how she bringing that back. She brought that back, freeing over said the bad stuff, brought back in the freeing 700 people
in a single night.
How do you know that? How do you know that? Where's the evidence of that? Freeing 700 people in a single night. Yep, it went from 70, deep game. You said 70 people to 700. Y'all caught that yet? Okay. All right. Yeah, y'all caught that.
People in a single night.
I'm talking about she's superwoman, ain't she? Shoo. 700 people? That should look. This should have been documented. Them people should have said something. That would have been written down somewhere, passed down orally. At the least, they would have mentioned Harriet Tubman. At the least.
But sure, she's a myth. Because clearly a black woman doing the impossible must mean it didn't happen, right?
Stop. There go the feminists kicking in. A black woman doing the impossible. You killed your whole argument when you said that. You know it was impossible. But you want us to believe this story with no evidence, just all talk. Right? Now it's good that you got pride in women now. I'm not saying don't have no pride in women. I got pride in women. I got pride in our own women. But I'm not about to sit up there and say that they're going to do the impossible and become Superwoman, Wonder Woman. One night, at night, 700 people. And she immediately captured the minds of 700 people. They never seen her a day in their life. A complete stranger. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. I know where to go. I know where to go. How we know you not the, you know what I'm saying? How we know you not the enemy? There's definitely going to be some men up there. No, I don't trust her. Where she come from, bro? You know her? No, I don't know her, man. She just got up here. What's your name again? Araminta. I mean, Harriet. How do we know you? Well, you know us? And what route we about to take? At night. How you know everything gonna be safe or sound? Well, all 700 of us will be able to survive and not get caught. See, they don't like you when you use critical thinking skills. They can't stand that. Dumb it down. Dumb it down, Dane. Don't do that. Stay dumb, Dane. Don't use your critical thinking skills. Use your imagination. That's what they want you to do.
Y'all will believe in talking snakes, cherry trees, and founding fathers who somehow love liberty while owning people. But you draw the line at Harriet Tubman.
I don't. Who you talking to?
Sense. So here's the real issue. Harriet didn't just escape. She turned around and made herself the nightmare of the slave-holding South.
Cap. If she made herself the nightmare of the slave-holding South, she has a target on her back. And if she allegedly led a battle in 1863, she gonna be the first one to go. Hey man, that's that girl. Hey, that's her right there. She ran for out of there.
She was strategic, ruthless, and brilliant. But apparently y'all aren't ready for that version.
Because that version don't exist.
So no, I'm not going to debate her existence.
Right after that. You're not going to debate her existence. So what is this? A debate is a constructive dialogue, right? About a particular topic. What are you doing then? What is this called? Is this called BS? Bad sociology? You are debating her existence. You said that she was a real person. You contradicted yourself. Your credibility is gone now. Here go that other girl apologizing.
Hey, yo, so I had made a video 2 weeks ago that is going viral because I had said that I found out Harriet Tubman was not a real person. So I want to first say that as a grown woman, it's my responsibility to call myself out on the very same platform that I ran my mouth. And y'all's feelings are valid, your frustration, your anger, because honestly, as a Black American, I should have been more responsible with what the fuck I said, because I understand that when you are a Black freedom fighter, it takes everything that you've got to even have the courage to stand the fuck. And as someone who too revolts against the same system that has enslaved Black Americans, I deeply and honestly, really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, did not mean to disrespect any sort of Black leaders of any kind.
Wait, how are you disrespecting them? How is that disrespect? There's nothing wrong with critical thinking. You got to make sure that it makes logical sense to you. There's nothing wrong with that. You shared your opinion in a video. Okay. Not everybody going to agree with your opinion unless you come with the facts to back it. Now, I liked what you said in the video. I will be the one to come with the facts to back it. Here go the paperwork to match it. This is the reason why your thoughts are actually the truth. You was trusting your instinct, that gut feeling, that let your conscience be your guide. Your subconscious. Your subconscious was talking to your conscience. It didn't sit well with you. The math wasn't mathing. The story wasn't adding up. And you apologizing? You didn't break no law. You just broke people's hearts. Not everybody can handle the truth. That is a hard pill to swallow. Nobody don't like for their reality to change. Most of the people ain't ready for change. They get too comfortable. They comfortable with where they live at right now. God forbid if a tornado or a hurricane come through that forces you to go, you still ain't gonna be ready. But you ain't gonna have no choice. Right? The Creator ain't gonna put nothing on your mind and nothing on your heart. Correction. The Creator ain't gonna put something on your mind and something on your heart to let it sink in, to make that other half of your brain click on for no reason. You're gonna apologize because you don't know if you offended people or not. All the people you was talking about were dead. So you apologizing to the crowd that you gained based off of your video going viral. That's why not everybody are ready. Not everybody is ready to step in a leadership role for that reason. There was nothing wrong with what you said. It was nothing wrong with what you did. You have the right to have an opinion. They could either take it or leave it. They could agree with it or not. You didn't violate any rules. You didn't violate any people. See? And you know, I know the men gonna be mad at me when I say this. A lot of our women are like this because they're not protected. Our women are vulnerable. They don't feel guarded. They don't feel protected. It's great that she take a responsibility, but this was at the wrong time. Her actions were fine. It's great that she's taking accountability, but this was at the wrong time. Her actions were fine. Because this is based on what merit? What based on what? What is this doing? You're apologizing to people you never met a day in your life, that you won't ever meet a day in your life. You're apologizing to the internet. You holding them up high, much higher than you hold up yourself. That's a flaw. And men, this is the reason why, listen, we got to be strong because our women need to be a reflection of us because they got to be strong too. I'm not calling her out on a negative note. I'm not doing that. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm just saying she's vulnerable. She's not comfortable with her own thought. See, and a lot of our people need healing. And do you realize that speaking your mind is a part of healing? Sister, ain't nothing wrong with what you did. Nothing. You don't owe these people a goddamn thing. They not paying your bills. They not keeping your lights on. They ain't putting food on your table. They ain't putting clothes on your back. You working hard for that right now on your own. There's nothing wrong with telling the truth. And even if you believe it was a theory at that time based off of the information that you gathered that the creator sent to you for you to think, and you thought out loud and you just so happen to share it online, ain't nothing wrong with that. You don't apologize for that. You didn't make a mistake.
And I sincerely mean it. What I wanted to say is the version from textbooks that we were given in our classrooms and the same government that once enslaved Black Americans, I have a right to question the education that they teach us.
Yes.
And I'm very weary and I'm very sensitive about what information I am learning. And my anger was inappropriately misdirected to the wrong person.
What? What anger? Directed at what person, sister? Men, our women need us, man. Men, listen, man. Our women need us. Oh my goodness. I ain't know it was this bad. She ain't do nothing. The sister was fine. Oh no, you say somebody must have threatened her? Yeah, that's what I said. You can tell that she vulnerable right here. That self-esteem went way low. You supposed to stand on business. You know, people be using that term. But you supposed to stand on importance. Stand on principle. You critically thought about it. You put it together. You have the right to do that. Just like you said, you got the right to question American slavery and everything that we were taught about American history. You got the right to state it out loud too. That's when the creator sends in more information for you. You get that download? Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. The questions get answered. But you don't shoot yourself in the foot like this. This ain't your fault. This is your awakening. This is your calling. That's your ancestors reaching out to you. Baby, you need to know the truth. You don't apologize for that. If anything, you apologize to your ancestors for just clicking right now. It just clicked.
My anger and frustrations were not on Harriet Tubman, and it should have been, or what I wanted to say is my frustration is towards the people who hold the pen and who leaves out truths, and it frustrates me. And
right,
honestly, like I said, I should have been more careful with my words.
What did she say wrong? Sister, stop. You didn't say nothing wrong. I played your whole video.
I also should have been more clear and gone deeper with what I meant.
You don't, that's not, no, see, you listening to the comments. Y'all gotta stop listening to them comments. Stop that. It don't matter what the mofos say. They not you. They not in your real life. Ain't nothing but one person with 20 to 30 accounts anyway trying to troll you. You don't gotta apologize to them. They want you to do this. They want you to submit. And you know what they call what you doing right here? This is called being humble. And do you know that's a negative thing? There's nothing positive about being humble. If you look up the definition and the etymology, there's nothing positive about being humble. That's being submissive. You're submitting to something unforeseen. The only entity that you should submit to is yourself, because that's something that you can see in the mirror. You wake up every day and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to do great today. I'm going to be great today. I am great today. These fools in these comment section that's causing confusion, don't let them have that type of control over you. You were absolutely correct. Wasn't nothing wrong with what you said.
I had to come on here and say something and make it right, because
make what right?
I would feel really bad about leaving people off and not.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Dropping it. I had to come on here and say something and make it right, because I would feel really bad about leaving people off and not at least apologizing for what I said and the confusion that it had made. Okay. So to everyone who saw me run my mouth in the first clip, I really do apologize for my behavior, the way that I came across, okay?
This is not how y'all act, okay? Sister, I know you don't, I know you mean well, but you don't know no better. This is not how y'all act in front of the enemy. This is not how y'all act in front of the enemy. The enemy is watching. You have to be unapologetic. You have to be unapologetic. You have to build up that confidence in yourself. You have to have so much confidence in yourself that you actually believe in yourself. You don't let nobody tear you down, because they not gonna be there to pick you up. You don't let nobody tear you down, because those very same people will not be there to pick you up. They want to bring you down. They want to shut us up. They want to stop the truth from coming out. You don't lower your standards to their level. Who are they? Keep in mind, you got their attention off of your viral video. The comment section is for people to leave their comments, their opinions. But that don't necessarily make everything that they state true. See, a lot of those people that do that made you do this, are trying to make you quit. That's called rage baiting. Clip farming. They are nobodies. Okay. I hope this get to her. Sister, I will hug you right now and say that you did a good job, but this right here, don't do this again. Don't do this again. You know the saying. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing. Don't let your right hand know what your left hand doing. This emotion that you showing right here, that should be left to your inner circle. You talk amongst the people that you trust. Now, I'm talking about the ones that you value their opinion. You talk amongst them. And not everybody gonna be on your level now. It don't matter their age. Okay? Because they could be in their 60s and their maturity level was still stuck in their 20s. Male and female here. Not everybody ready. But that don't mean you stoop to their level just so they can relate. You're not here to make friends. You're here to get the truth out. And so am I. Hey, y'all, if y'all contact her, let her know to get inside of the 13% community server. Shout out to the moderators and administrators. Can y'all do me a favor and type 13 in the chat? Just in case she watching and she need that link, please type 13 in the chat. It's going to say discord.gg/the 13%. Sister, get in there. We got you. You ain't going to be doing this type of video no more. We got you. We got your back, your sides, and your front. There's more than an army of us. It's locked and loaded. Ready. And I see you on that verge, sister. Don't let them distract you. J Mar, thank you for becoming a member.
It's up.
I see you been a member for 9 months in a row. Haywood Myers, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Haywood said, I'm a Boston native in the Beacon Hill, South End area. Used to be all black during my parents' and grandparents' era. Now it's filled with rich people and the LBGT. Dang, you ain't lying, brother.
Set it on fire.
Shout out to all the people that subscribed. I see y'all. I appreciate that. 3 states below. Thank you for becoming a member. The Brown family, thank you for becoming a member. Sheila, thank you for the super chat. You said Trump will pull the plug any minute now. You talking about on well, any of them. I mean, he could do what he want. He the president now. You know what I'm saying?
It's up.
I appreciate that. Coco, thank you for being a member for 4 months in a row. You said, Chief Dan, you keep it real, and it's up. Absolutely. Absolutely. Blue Dreamer, thank you for the super chat, sister. I appreciate you, Chief. This, you said this 2 hours ago too, Blue. I apologize. You must have been talking about something right there. I said, you said, I knew it wasn't going to last, especially that 4 years. You talk about their relationship, right? I think all of us knew that. I really do. I really do think that all of us, wasn't expecting for, that guy to stick around like that. I mean, I don't trust him. I don't like him. I don't like Teslas. I'm not the type that's gonna go out there and damage a person's Tesla, though. I don't like that destruction of property type stuff. I believe all the people need to be going to jail. It shouldn't be that damn serious to the point where you need to be damaging property like that. Them people pay, you know what I'm saying? They got a car note, you know what I'm saying? You can't do that now. I think that's silly. Your ass deserve to get locked up for doing some stupid shit like that. Where we at? Wait a minute. Joe Nail, thank you for becoming a member. Jay Yo been a member for 15 months in a row. Oh, it's just me been a member for 65 months in a row. Thomas been a member for 3 months. I appreciate that, y'all. I appreciate that. Darren said, thank you for speaking on that video. Absolutely. Darren also been a member for 28 months. I appreciate you, Darren. Erica been a member for 26 months in a row. She said, thank you and your wife for all y'all do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to my beautiful wife. I love you, baby. You know what I'm saying? I ain't eat nothing just yet. So let me throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I ain't even been asleep just yet. So, after I wake up from my nap, you know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, Queen, thank you for becoming a member. Queen Hershey. Oh, no, been a member. I apologize, Queen Hershey. Been a member for 26 months in a row. I appreciate that.
It's up.
Desi Dez, thank you for becoming a member. And Ricky with the 5 gifted. Chief Rye, that's my brother. What up, Rye? Each one teach one. Shout out to the 13%ers. Thank you for the super chat, Chief. Oh, it's just me, Kane, with the 20 bob. I appreciate that. Wado, she said thank you. Wado means thank you. I appreciate that. Sean George, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that, y'all. So, okay, y'all got a video coming tomorrow. And I think I'm gonna be going live after that. Hold on, what's tomorrow? Friday? I know some of y'all pissed off because y'all supposed to be watching that basketball game tonight. You know, I haven't been looking at the series. You know what I'm saying? None of the basketball players that I look at, you know, Kyrie not there, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Cheetah's Vicky with the 5 gifted. Fire. Cheetah's Vicky, I hope everything work out. You know what I'm saying? In your favor. Send positive energy your way. My entire family, we did that for you. We uplifted you. Right now in the spirit, right now, sister. Right now. Right now. We demand nothing but positive things for you and yours. Especially you. Okay? And in fact, let me send that same positive energy to everyone that came out. That's watching now. That'll watch it later. I hope you continue to prosper in life every single day. And you unapologetically state who you are and represent it well and make your ancestors proud. I'm just saying, let me drop a bomb for all this. And clap it up too. So y'all got that video tomorrow. And then I'll probably I'm either gonna go live the next day or tomorrow night. It depends on how Friday looking. I think today, wait, is today Friday or tomorrow Friday? Yeah, tomorrow Friday. So I'm gonna see how that work. Because that video that's coming tomorrow is a video that YouTube had a problem with. I did post it, but they was tripping off a clip I used. So it's coming back out tomorrow. Y'all see, members, y'all already see it. Members, y'all can see it right now, in fact. Y'all already see it. But that's coming out for everybody else later on tomorrow. And then and I'm probably gonna go live, most likely, if not tomorrow night, then Saturday, and then more new content behind that. We just gonna keep going back to back to back to back. We gonna keep going back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? We gonna hit them with that train, you know what I'm saying? Keep spamming emojis and flattening the chat. Turn up, 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 turn up. Keep spamming emojis and flattening the chat. Hey, 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 hey. Now I messed up. I hit that button by mistake. That wasn't the button I was trying to press. I was trying to press this button. I was delaying. All right, hold up, it's catching up. I had a few things happening. Thomas came in with the 10 gifted. Kismet, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that, Thomas. All of y'all that just became members, when they gift y'all the membership, y'all can go back and start watching the member videos. In fact, I may even, just because of that, I'm going to drop, matter of fact, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm going to drop another members, members only video tomorrow. I'm going to drop it for y'all tomorrow. Y'all go see it. And that's besides the other video that's coming tomorrow. I got something in the cut. Wait, y'all go like that one. Yeah. Y'all take care. So all this weekend, I'm telling y'all, just check back on the channel. All this weekend, we got content coming out. Let's get it. I love y'all. Y'all take care. See y'all next time. Wado. I'm just here to make you think.
Yeah, DNA. Yeah,